Hey guys, Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com, bringing you my first impressions plus on-feet video of the brand new leather TechCraft variation of the Nike Hypervenom Phatal 2 DF. Now inside the box, because this is a takedown model and not the top-end Phantom 2 or Finish, they do not include a string bag. All you get inside the box are the shoes themselves. So we'll get these guys out of the box really quickly, and we'll take a closer look at the leather upper variation of the Phantom 2 takedown, the Phatal 2 DF. Now this is a pretty interesting shoe because one, it's a takedown model that we've really only seen one variation of, but now it's available with a leather upper. How does this change the feel, the fit, and just general performance of the shoe? That's something that we're going to be talking about in today's video. So if you're interested in learning more, please stick around and watch the entire video. If you're interested in a pair of these for yourself, be sure to click the very first link down below in description. That'll take you directly to the review page on my website, where you'll find buy now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes, where you'll be able to pick these guys up below their normal retail price. So again, if you're interested in a pair, first link down below, go ahead and check it out. And with that being said, let's get right into the review. To start things off, let's go over tech specs and what's on offer from a performance standpoint from the TechCraft Phatal 2 DF. Now, of course, this is the DF version of the Phatal 2, which gives it the mid-cut design of the Phantom 2 minus the Flyknit. So this particular aspect, the collar and the middle portion, is just an elasticated mesh material that looks similar to Flyknit, I'll give it that, but the quality, especially in person when you have these in your hands and even when you're wearing them, it's definitely noticeably not as nice as what you're going to find from the Flyknit on the top end Phantom model. So that remains unchanged coming from the standard variation of the Phatal 2 DF. When you're talking about the upper, that's where things are a lot different because this is of course the TechCraft model, which gives you a leather upper. Now, similar to how they did it on the Phantom 2 in the TechCraft variation, you're going to find there's a separation where it goes from synthetic to leather. So the transition point is very clear. It goes from orange to black, orange being synthetic, black being leather, and you have it pretty much at the same point on both the lateral and medial side. So the parts of the shoe that you want to be leather are. Now, you're not going to find a base layer of the standard Mirage synthetic that you would find on the Phatal 2. Instead, the upper is straight up leather with a liner. Now, it's not kangaroo leather like what you're going to find on the top-end Phantom 2 model, so for that reason, I wouldn't say it's quite as soft, and I wouldn't say it's quite as thin. It does feel a little bit less premium, but still very, very good. I am not complaining here whatsoever. Really, really like how they feel. They included the embossed lines in the toe box area that aren't really going to have an impact when you're talking about a leather upper, and they also included the flywire cables, which is really nice, that work on the lateral and medial side of the upper. And it's just going to make for a nice lockdown sensation when you pull the laces tight, which is what you want from a leather shoe. You're getting the softness of a natural leather, but the lockdown and responsiveness that you would expect from a modern day soccer shoe. You have a good combination of old school and new school elements all on one shoe at a lower price than the Phantom 2. Again, I think the Phantom 2 is a better quality product, but for the money you can spend on a pair of Phatal 2 DFs from the TechCraft pack, if you just want a leather version of the Hypervenom with, of course, that mid-cut design, this is not a bad option by any means. The quality is, like I said, surprisingly good. It just has a standard kind of nylon liner like you'd expect on most leather shoes, and the difference in feel is going to be pretty significant. It's going to provide more of a padded sensation on the ball, although it is still quite thin, as you guys can see by the side profile, and this leather material is going to be noticeably softer on feet, which you could argue is more comfortable. But again, it really depends on what type of feel that you're looking for. If you want something thinner and perhaps a little bit firmer on your foot, the synthetic model may be the way to go. But if you want something that's going to be a little bit softer, more flexible, and arguably just more comfortable overall, maybe this TechCraft leather variation is the version that you want. It does have the off-centered lacing system. That is unchanged from the standard Phatal 2 DF, and pretty much every other element is unchanged as well. You have the internal plastic heel counter, synthetic leather liner on the inside of the heel. The insole is fully removable. That is the same as what you're going to find on the Phantom 2. Mesh liner on top, and it's just a single layer of this ortholite foam that's actually pretty good. Fairly decent insole considering the lightweight nature of this shoe. And then of course the sole plate, also the same as what you're going to find on the Phantom 2. Obviously the regular colorways have the graphic, the TechCraft one does not, so technically the same as the TechCraft Phantom 2 as well. It's made from a glass nylon material that's relatively flexible in the forefoot, much more flexible than the original Hypervenom Phantom was. And then of course you get that Hypervenom stud pattern, which is kind of a conical shaped variation of what you get with the Mercurials. It's well proven at this point, works really well. You get good grip when pushing off, but still plenty of maneuverability because of the rounded shape. So again, if you're looking for good all-around traction, you're definitely going to get that from the Hypervenom line. It should not disappoint. So that's pretty much it in terms of what's on offer here from the TechCraft variation of the Phatal 2DF. Definitely a very attractive option if you're looking for a leather variation of the Hypervenom with the mid-cut design, but don't necessarily want to spend the extra money on the much more expensive Hypervenom Phantom 2 in the TechCraft variation. In terms of weight, I thought we'd compare the weight of the standard Phatal 2DF, the synthetic upper variation, to that of the TechCraft leather model to see if there's any significant difference between the two. So I'm going to weigh both variations for you today in real time using this scale. Keep in mind these are both in brand new condition and both the exact same size 9 US. So we'll start off with the synthetic model, throw it on the scale, and you can see that they weigh in at 7.3 ounces, the equivalent of 206 grams. So pretty light. Remember those numbers? Again, 7.3 ounces. We'll change the scale back, throw those off, and put on the leather variation, and you can see that they weigh in at 7.75 ounces, the equivalent of 220 grams. So you're talking about just under half an ounce of extra weight here with the leather upper variation. Is this a significant amount of weight? The honest answer to that question is no. You'll notice a very, very slight difference between the two in hand, but when they're on your feet, aside from feeling a little bit different because it's a different type of material for the upper, the general weight is pretty much the same. So if you are trying to decide between the synthetic and leather variation of the Phatal 2DF, I really don't think that it should come down to weight because, like I said, the weight difference is extremely minimal. Both of them feel very light. Aesthetically, the Phatal 2DF in the TechCraft variation looks a lot like the Phantom 2. There aren't many giveaways. The collar is obviously a little bit different because it's not the same material. You have some fused material here as opposed to being stitched, and the shades of orange are a little bit different because of the different materials. But other than that, the leather portion of the upper looks very, very similar. And of course, you have that same orange and black color combo that always looks good. So from there, it's really just a matter of whether or not you like the look of a mid-cut Hypervenom. I know a lot of people don't, a lot of people do. I'll leave that to you guys, but I don't think they look half bad, especially considering that this is a takedown model. It definitely doesn't look like a cheap shoe by any means. So let me know your opinions down below in the comment section. Do you like how these look? Why or why not? And with that being said, let's move on to the on-feet portion of the video so we can get a better idea as to how these shoes fit and of course what the sizing is like. Alright, so here is a look at the TechCraft Phatal 2DF on feet. On my left foot, I have the stock black laces that come with the shoes, and on my right foot, I have a pair of orange with black dots SR4U replacement laces. If you're interested in a pair of replacement laces for yourself, be sure to check out the website www.sr4ulaces.com. You can find a direct link to that website down below in the description of this video. Now, in terms of how these things fit and feel on feet, I'm going to make the argument that these feel more comfortable out of the box than the standard synthetic version of the Phatal 2DF. In comparison to that Mirage synthetic upper, this leather material, which I would assume is a calfskin, feels softer, more flexible, and like I said, just more comfortable against your foot, at least from the get-go. Once you break in the standard synthetic Phatal 2DF, discomfort is not an issue whatsoever. It's actually a relatively comfortable shoe, considering that it is on the thinner side and the upper does have a firmer sensation overall, but that's just the style of shoe that it is. Again, if you don't want that style, if you want something that's going to feel a little bit softer, but at the same time still provide that lockdown sensation and one that kind of wraps your foot a little bit more closely, but you want that leather upper, then this leather variation of the Phatal 2DF is definitely something to consider because, like I said, they feel pretty good from right out of the box. In regards to width, it's the same shape as what you're going to find from a standard Phatal 2, but of course it's leather. So you're going to get some stretch in the toe box and forefoot area, the parts of the shoe that aren't covered with fly wire, because obviously the fly wire parts are not going to stretch at all. So the midfoot is going to maintain its shape really, really nicely, whereas the toe box area will give a little bit after some break-in time. But for the most part, the shoes will fit most people. As long as you don't have excessively wide feet, you shouldn't have too many issues here. In regards to sizing, I'm wearing my usual size 9 US, and the fit and the length is absolutely perfect. So if you are looking to order a pair of these for yourself, I would strongly recommend going true to size in order to achieve the best possible fit. And of course, being that this is the Phatal 2 Dynamic Fit Variation, or DF version, it does of course have that mid-cut collar, which feels on feet honestly very similar to what you're going to find from the Flyknit Phantom 2. Honestly, not that different. The quality, like I said, is not as good, which you'll notice when the shoes are in your hand and when you're putting them on. It's a little bit more scary just because the material isn't quite as elasticated, but people don't seem to be having issues with the collar breaking or anything like that. I haven't had any issues personally, so it seems to hold up quite well. And if you're looking for that kind of mid-cut feel, it definitely provides that despite not being the same material as the top-end Phantom model. All right, guys, that is it for my first impressions of the TechCraft Nike Hypervenom Phatal 2 DF. Look out for more coverage on this shoe as well as the rest of the TechCraft line in the very near future on this channel. If you guys are interested in a pair of these for yourself, be sure to click the very first link down below in the description of this video. That'll take you to the review page on my website, where you'll not only find high quality images of this exact pair that I took myself, but you'll also find buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes, where you'll be able to pick these guys up below their normal retail price. So again, if you're interested in a pair, first link down below, go ahead and check it out. If you have any questions at all regarding this particular shoe, leave them down below in the comment section, and I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information linked down below in the description of this video as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, thanks for watching.